Peace and welcome. Welcome to this beautiful spring day. Gonna just give it a couple moments for people to, or whoever's up this early. We're out here on the East Coast and it is 6:52 a.m. Let's see. Okay. Yes, I hear you, Nala. So in my cup today, I have organic English breakfast tea, a little bit of raw cane sugar, and Vermont maple. And we're gonna light the copal. Put that flame just a little too close to the cell phone. I grew up in a household where my mother burned incense very often, very often. Opium, sandalwood, nagchampa. Kind of felt like I was growing up in a temple. Okay, so as you see in the beginning shot here, I have my Infinite Treasures Ankhs. These are beautiful handmade ankhs by Ras Naim and his lovely wife, Sister Carla. This one is pyrite and lapis lazuli in the handle, and shungite on the bottom. And this one is pyrite in the eye and shungite in the handle. And I use these for meditations and healings. You can find Infinite Treasure on Etsy. You can find them on Instagram, and you can find them at infiniteTreasures.org. And that's treasures with an S at the end. And let's just see where we are on this. We're gonna just give it a couple of moments for people to meander on in. Okay, all right, so we are public. Just making sure. Oh, it's already 50 degrees out. Okay. So I wanted to check out Goddess Oracle, see what the Divine Feminine has for us today. And when I turned my deck over to lay it down, Ceridwen, Death and Rebirth, is what showed up at me. And it's like, okay, well, this is going to be the Divine Feminine aspect of the Divine Feminine that we meet today. So let's see what is said about Ceridwen. Okay, here we go. Ceridwen, Death and Rebirth. I give you life. I give you death. It is all one. You travel the spiral path, the eternal path. That is existence, ever becoming, ever growing, ever changing. Nothing dies, that is not reborn. Nothing is born that does not die. When you come to me, I welcome you home. Then I take you into my womb, my cauldron of transformation, where you are stirred and sifted, blended and boiled, melted and mashed, reconstituted, then recycled. You always come back to me. You always go forth renewed. Death and rebirth are but points of transition along the eternal path. In the mythology, to the Welsh, Ceridwen, sorry, it's pronouncing that incorrectly. Ceridwen is a triple goddess, maid, mother, and crone, maiden, mother, and crone, whose totem animal is the great white sow. She is associated with the moon, inspiration, poetry, prophecy, shape-shifting, and life and death. Ceridwen had two boys. One was beautiful and one was ugly. Because she wanted the ugly one to have something of his own, she made him a magical brew. The brew took a year and a day to complete and would make him inspired and brilliant. She set Gwion, her assistant, to watch the brew and bade him not to drink it. Accidentally, some drops of the brew splashed onto his hand, and he put his hand to his mouth. Instantly, he knew everything, including the fact that Ceridwen would seek his death. He ran away, and she ran after him. After many shape-shiftings, he was swallowed by Ceridwen, who gave birth to him 9 months later. Meaning of the card. Ceridwen's appearance in your life heralds a time of death and rebirth. Something is dying and needs to be let go of, so something new can be reborn. We know the earth's dance of death and rebirth as the seasons. Matter cannot be created or destroyed, but undergoes transformation. So do we. To live fully and in wholeness, we need to accept life in all that it is, which includes death and rebirth. Let go of what does not serve you and your wholeness. Perhaps you have reached the end of a cycle, a relationship, a job you fear letting go, or feel that you are dying, when only a piece of you needs to give way to the new. Perhaps the idea that there is death and the only death is too painful for you to accept. Living in a patriarchal culture has deprived most of us of the goddess's ways of death and rebirth. Wholeness is nurtured when we become conscious that every step on the path of life is also a step towards death and rebirth. Wholeness is achieved when we can say yes and do our dance with death and rebirth. Ceridwen says you will always get back when you give to me. It will be changed, it will be transformed, and you will get it back. So that's very interesting. Welcome, Lapolea. Welcome. It reminds me of a show that I've been watching on Hulu. And I was a little disappointed last night to realize that this show was filmed 5 years ago and it ended. What did it end in season 1? Well, I'm not sure, but we're getting close to the end of the season. But it was a show called Second Chance. And it was about these twins, fraternal twins, brother and sister. And the brother is a genius, but he is very much an introvert. And the parents passed away when they were little kids because of something that had happened. And the little boy really internalized it all. So he refused to speak to anyone but his sister. But then his sister is has some type of cancer that's incurable, so he's using his genius skills to try to cure her of her cancer. And what he was able to do was, if someone was dead, he would take that person and try to resurrect them. And he succeeded in one particular person. So anyway, there's the assistant to his sister who is trying to figure out how to get her husband, who is very elderly and about to pass away, to also become a part of this and be resurrected. And he told her that he didn't want to do that, that life only had meaning if you knew that you would eventually die. And he felt that that was the correct course and that he wanted to enjoy the life that he had with her. So I thought that was very poignant and just gives us something to think about. And so Caridwen, death and rebirth, is here to remind us, when we let go, whether it's life, whether it's job, whether it's a relationship, when we are able to let go, that is not the finality, that is not the end, because only through letting go will we receive the newness and be renewed. And she always promises to renew us. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Divine L. Welcome. Happy hump day to you as well. And I am very happy that you received a painting. I was almost tempted to send you a text message last night, but then I was like, okay, just chill, just wait. Because I get a little anxious when I send stuff in the mail like that. So I hope that it is as lovely in person as you had hoped it to be. And thank you for purchasing one of my paintings. Okay, so that is Caridwen. And of course, Nala is here on my lap. Okay, we are on hexagram number 19. Spring is coming. So there we are on the journey of death and rebirth. And in the Osho Osho I Ching by Padma Devi, we have 19 is called approach. And so the key words are advancing, a warm reception, prosperous conditions, increased influence, hopefulness, lightening up, and arrival. So there we go. Alrighty. So we're going to look at what Professor Kersan Hong, how he has translated, direct literal translation of the I Ching, the Oracle. I just noticed the publisher is World Scientific. So this was published in 1984 by the World Scientific Publishing Company out of Singapore. All right, so hexagram number 19. And we are going in sequential order. Prevailing. Prevailing is the title given to this hexagram. And a thank you, Divine L. Divine L says it's even better in person. I'm glad you like it. Prevailing. Sign of the great sacrifice. Auspicious omen. Misfortune on the 8th month. And this is Earth over Lake. So we always start with the bottom hexagram, the bottom bagua, and we work our way up because it's always the foundation The foundation is important to the edifice. So the first line, prevailing through persuasion, good omen. Prevailing through persuasion, all goes well, no obstacles. Prevailing by force, nothing is gained. If softening follows, there will be no grudge. Prevailing through sincerity, faultless. Prevailing through reason becomes a great king, all goes well. Prevailing through honesty, all goes well, faultless. Faultless. And we like to have Professor Hong's translation as our foundation so we can see what we're working with. And then we build ourselves up. We're going to move to Binabel Wen, and we're going to look at the first Bagua, which is lake. I've always been a little bit nervous around lakes. Lakes they're just deep, and they're dark and mysterious. Don't move very much. Lakes. So this is the lake, Bagua. A fertile womb, receptivity for further growth, nourishment, receiving pleasure, tranquility, devotion, joy, satisfaction, stagnation, openness, intuition, and vision. And if you look right at the top up here, what does that remind you of? To me, it reminds me of Caridwen's cauldron. It reminds me of her cauldron. So it's like her cauldron is a lake. And the cauldron also is symbolic of the womb. Okay, the element is metal. The direction is west. The season, yellow path. Autumn equinox. The season, low shu 9 halls. Cardinal winter. Life aspect, children, fertility, nurturing. Medically is related to the mouth, oral cavity, digestive and reproductive system. Chronic pain or disease, nutrients, nutrition, and sexuality. The chakra is the third eye. The animal is the sheep or the tiger. The archetype is the diviner, and the immortal is Zhongli Quan, patron of warriors, ceremonial magicians, and alchemists. And the empowered state of the lake is hexagram number 58. And what is over the lake? Is that Earth? Yep, that is Earth. So we're going to look at the 8th Bagua, Earth. Receiving direction, yielding, receptivity, submission to heaven, nurturing force, divine yin, receptive energy, that which yields, material world, and of course the element is earth, direction, southwest, season, yellow path is cardinal spring, season, low shu 9 halls, summer solstice, life aspect, love and relationships, motherhood. Medically is related to the stomach, digestion, spleen, pancreas. The chakra is the center seed, the beginning of creation, or womb. Animal is a bull. Archetype, the dreamer, the visionary. Immortal, Lan Kai He, patron of artists, creatives, intuitives, and peripatetics. And the empowered state of hexagram of Earth, of course, is hexagram number 2. And we have the chakra here. I heard someone say we all have a womb, whether we're male or female. I kind of was like, oh, no, only females have wombs, but energetically, It's like our center seed is our womb, our Dantian. That is the beginning of creation. So energetically, we all have an energetic womb. So hexagram number 19. Let's read that one. And I do like the script for this one. It is like a little container. Here's our container. Looks like a little garden. An ascent to greatness, prosperity and gains to come, great benefit from completing the endeavor at hand. The divine light expands your power. After overcoming many obstacles, you are not ready to enjoy the dawn of success. As you reach your pinnacle, do not look down on those below you and do not be arrogant. Use your abundance to protect your kingdom and those who are less fortunate. At the arrival of the 8th month, beware of another's ominous intentions. You will enjoy an enduring period of success, but around the 8th month mark, the envy of others may trigger them to take malicious action against you. So be wary and careful. So that was from Benabel Wynn. And we will look at Brother Brian Brown Walker's interpretation of hexagram number 18. And he also entitles this one, Approach. Lynn, Approach. Good approaches the superior person. The hexagram Lin signals the approach of powerful, beneficial influences. Just as the winter solstice heralds the return of spring, the appearance of this hexagram marks a similar movement toward light and growth. Progress and success are assured now to those who persevere on the path of truth. To maximize the opportunity implicit in this moment, it is important to cultivate a proper attitude. It is easy during good times to relax our inner discipline and fall back into incorrect thoughts and actions. Allowing one's ego to take over in a moment of success is a sure means of ending the progress that has now happened. And continuing carefully along the path is our only means of coming into full possession of it. A steadfast modesty and acceptance, whether external conditions are good or bad, is the mark of a superior person. In yourself, maintain balance and equanimity and humility in times of accomplishment. With others, remain patient, tolerant, and gentle. Clinging to these principles assures you a time of joy and prosperity. So there you go. It's all about your approach. And it's good to constantly try to cultivate that because, as we all know, we are only human, and that ego, that untrained ego, can get away with us. I know that I have my moments for sure. All right, so where are we going to move to next? Where are we going to move to next? Oh, okay. As I was saying that, I picked up my book, The Illustrated Herbiary, Guidance and Rituals from 36 Bewitching Botanicals by Maya Toll. I met Maya Toll at the Mid-Atlantic Women's Herbal Conference a couple years ago. So when I picked up the book and was like, should I use this book? And opened it right to Elderberry. Cyclicality. Cyclicality. We have the maiden, mother, and crone. Nice compliment to our Caridwen card. So let's go ahead and see what Elderberry has for us. And I just noticed that my bracelets went in front of the camera, and my copper bracelets that I have here, well, actually it's a necklace and I wrapped it around like a bracelet. I wear that all the time. That is also available from Infinite Treasures. So check them out from Infinite Treasures, maker of this amazing ankh here. So Elderberry, and there we can see the image again, the Elderberry. So let's read what Elderberry has to teach us. Sambucus nigra. Elderberry traditionally lives in the center of the garden, telling stories of winters past and springs yet to come. Though oft scraggly and questionably centerpiece, her three faces embody the goddess: maiden in the spring, abundant with white petals; mother in the summer, when wine-red berries adorn her branches; and crone in the autumn, when her leaves are falling away. She looks quite dead in the winter, all bare branches and hollow bones. Elderberry's yearly evolution teaches you to dance with the closely twined cycles of life, death, and rebirth. See what happens when you follow spirit? This is the perfect complement to Caridwen, allowing ourselves to dance among the cycles. Elderberry's yearly evolution teaches you to dance with the closely twined cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Wherever you are in your life, she reminds you that acceptance of life's cyclicality is the key to earning your spot at the garden's center. The wisdom of return. Let's see. We'll go ahead and read what the ritual is. In the modern world, time can feel quite linear. We march from birth to death, forgetful of the ancient wisdom of return. Living cyclically, with an awareness of the cycles that form the foundation of our existence, can change our perspective in profound ways. Our breath is our first cycle. Inhale and exhale. Next is the cycle of day and light, from dawn to dusk and back again. Beyond that is the 28-day cycle of the moon, and so on. Choose a cycle to celebrate. You might, for example, greet the sun each day and send her off in the evening, or you might commit to standing outside for a few minutes each night, observing the movements of the moon. A cycle includes the next beginning. So if you celebrate dawn and dusk, celebrate the following sunrise as well. If you are a moon watcher, commit to following the moon past the beginning of her next cycle so you can witness repetition as she comes around again. In the reflection, our evolution is an upward climbing spiral. We repeat lessons, gaining wisdom as we go. But if we hop from thing to thing, never repeating, declaring things done after one go round, we deny ourselves this growth, this ability to evolve into the goddess at the center of our garden. Do you take the time to dive deep, allowing cycles of repetition to enhance your understanding? Do you allow new knowledge to take root in your hands and your heart through practice? Or do you hold knowledge only in your head, denying yourself true learning and wisdom? So there you go. Wisdom from the Illustrated Herbiary by Maya Tall. Very beautiful book. And again, it comes with a couple of cards. So we're going to pull a card from the Spirit Keepers Tarot, the Vitruvian edition. See what message Spirit has for us in the Spirit Keepers Tarot. Oh, I have one that literally just jumped out of the deck. So be it. And is the Kindred, the Three of Chalices. Had a lot of threes today. Isn't that interesting? We started with the Triple Goddess, and then our Elderberry, and here we go. The Spirit Keepers Tarot, the Three of Chalices. Okay. All right. Okay, there's the threes right there. Three of Chalices, the Kindred. Three priestesses stand by the waters. They're scrying into their chalices. The one to the left, with a crescent waxing moon on her sleeve, is a young maiden. And the center, with full moons on her sleeves not visible, is a mother. The third priestess to the right, with a crescent waning moon, is the crone. Oh my gosh. To find out. That's like for the third time. We have Caridwen, we have Elderberry, and now we have the Three of Chalices. Yep. Okay. The Kindred is the spirit of affinity within the tribe. This is abundance in our love, camaraderie, and the prophecy of Jubilee to come. A personal zenith point is reached in your community relation. Mutual trust benefits all. Creativity requires input. Fellowship edifies the psyche. So as we accept, respect, and appreciate the cycles of life, the cycles of death and rebirth as it permeates all aspects of our life, from our own literal birth into this physical world and the many transitions that we go through to our death, from the beginning of the seasons, spring, summer, autumn, and winter, to the beginning of relationships. As they say, some people come into your life for a reason, lifelong, some for just a season. Everything is here to teach us. If we observe cycles, we learn so much. Whether it's the cycle of the seasons, we learn about the growing season, the time to plant, the time to harvest. These are all seasons, these are all cycles. So in the process of knowing ourselves, know thyself, how about we put a little attention to our own personal cycles? Just something to think about. What micro and macro cycles do we go through in our lives? How are we honoring them? Do we find ourselves repeating the same cycles over and over again? Are we learning our lessons in those cycles? And one last card before we leave today. We're going to see what animal energy our brothers and sisters in the animal kingdom. This is a very beautiful deck, The Wild Unknown Animal Spirit by Kim Kranz. The artwork is just simply delicious on these cards. And I always like to edge my deck. I edge this one. Most of my decks, I edge them in silver. Let's see. Is there silver in this one? Oh, no, I didn't do silver in this one, but I plan to. I think I must have had a different deck. I do tend, if I have a favorite deck, I'll probably buy 2 copies of the deck because cards get lost. But this one, I do want to edge this one in silver, but this one is so gorgeous. Deck. So let's go ahead and tap into some critter energy. What can we learn from our 4 and multi-legged and no-legged friends? Divine L says, last sun readings I did, Virgo got the crone as the strongest energy coming towards them. Yes. Yes. Okay. So let's see. So in lieu of triple energy, we're going to go with the 3rd card. The zebra. Zebra. What does zebra energy have to teach us today? Zebra, okay. Eccentric, creative, visionary. Zebras are the most precious of gems. They are young at heart, well-cultured, and have an undying curiosity about life. Being in the company of a zebra personality not only is a delight, but also opens our minds. Be prepared. Their potent magic is contagious, and you may soon find yourself in a faraway land expanding your worldview while having a blast. Zebras also like to contribute to the global health through environmental or volunteer work. Have you ever seen a zebra volunteer with Habitat for Humanity? I'm sorry, baby. She does not like me petting her back leg too much. This card may be a hint to pack your bags. So, when in balance, worldly, enthusiastic, fashion forward. When out of balance, jaded, pouty, and vain. To bring into balance an epic adventure, art. So, the zebra is also here to teach us to celebrate the beauty of life and the beauty of life cycles, to be ready to pack up and go, enjoy each moment of evolution, have enthusiasm. It's all about your, where's that card? It's all about your approach. Be willing to approach life head on and enjoy all the cycles, because spring is coming, and in spring there is new birth, and there can only be, spring can only come after the winter. Newness can only come through the renewal of that which is past, right? Energy constantly recycles itself. So I'll leave you with this. I'll leave all of us with this. Honor the cycles in all aspects of your life. And when you honor those cycles, when it is our time to meet our winter, we will be ready, and we'll meet it with a joy and a satisfaction of knowing that we traveled well and we enjoyed the scenery and the cultures that we came in contact with. I wish you peace and great bliss. I wish all of us, including myself, peace and great bliss. Cheers. Until next time, this is Tama Lagina, Priestess Heart. Please remember to thumbs up this video, to subscribe, and enjoy your day.